Hi everyone, I'm Tom and today I'm going to be playing Railroad Revolution, and this is a game all about the rapid expansion of railroads all across America in the 19th century. So we wanted to get to the west of America, and so companies were in a mad dash to get there as quickly as possible, and seeing an opportunity, the telegraph companies wanted to get into it as well, and that's basically what we're going to be doing. We're going to be starting from the east of America and spreading our railroad network, getting involved in telegraph offices, and mainly running our companies and trying to get as much out on the board as possible, but getting a dedicated team of workers. So this is my game board at the start of the game. I've got all of my rails and stations just at the top there, and these are the actions that I'll be taking throughout the game. I have these milestones, so I want to build rails in really tough terrain. There are triangles over certain parts of track, and the more they are, the harder it is to build there, and the more expensive it is to build there. But I want to get some rails in there, and I want to be connected to two different number 2 cities. See, the cities on the east start off as number 1s and they gradually turn into the number 5s as they get harder and harder to get to. And I want to have a station in a number 2 city as well. Once I've done that, I can promote people from my worker pool, and I can score some points that way if I want to. I start the game off with 4 standard workers, and these can be upgraded throughout the game, and I can gain different workers that are specialized, because if I just went to an action to build a station, I can just do a station, and I can promote people if I send white workers there. But if I send the colored workers, they all do a specific thing with an action and give you bonuses for using that color of worker in all sorts of different situations. It's a really, really interesting way of action selection. We've also got Marty over there sitting with the blue company, and the last thing to do in setup, I've set it all up for a 2-player game, so we have a few cities blocked off from their first station bonus. Normally you'd get a nice little extra for being the first person there, but these have been blocked off just to tighten the board up a little bit, and it's the same as happened in the telegraph offices. So the last thing for setup is to pick one of these starting tiles. Now, since I'm the first player, Marty gets first pick of these starting bonuses, and you would also get the worker that goes with it as well. At the start of the game, I just pick 2 randomly, and then you get 1 worker of each colour and just randomly pull out 2 of them. So we could either have 3 steps up the performance tracks. The performance tracks are over here, and these are points you'll get at the end of the game for various things you've done. So for every telegraph office you've built, you can get up to 9 points. For every station you've built, you can get up to 9 points. For every rail you've got connected to a number 5 city, you can get all the way up to 25 points. And so getting 3 steps up that would be quite nice. You would also get an accountant who is very good at getting you more money or saving you money through actions. Or one of us will start the game with a telegraph office in one of the deal spaces here. This cross means that you don't get the benefits. Usually when you place a telegraph office, you'll get some shares, but you don't at the start of the game. And you would also get a negotiator, who is a type of worker that is good at getting you in-game bonuses. So to start with, Marty is last player, so he gets first pick. He's definitely going to go for the performance track movement, and he gets an accountant to start the game with, which is really nice for saving money on things. And he gets the 3 movement now. So what does he want to go into? I don't think he wants to make a push for telegraph offices. He wants to start building rails. So I think he should make a push for either connecting to 5 cities or just getting points for going in the different stations. I think he'll use his 3 movement on here. 1, 2, 3. So now, if he can connect his rails, he doesn't even have to build stations in there. If he can connect the rails to these 5 cities, for each one, he has already guaranteed himself 10 points for the end of the game. As for me, I can place a telegraph office either in this space or this space, and the decision there really is just which do you want to go next to? Which bonus do I want? Which one am I anticipating going to? Because I want to, if I want this bonus, for example, I want to start off here, because then at the end of the game, if I've got telegraph offices in these 2 places, then I will get 5 points. I think I like the idea of being down here and I could get a train in the future. So I'm going to go there and I start off with a negotiator. And that is all of the setup when we are ready to start playing. So your turn is very simple. It's basically going to be get one of your workers from your available workers, place it on one of the actions, and then get the bonus for that action. Once you have used all of your workers, you can take them back, but until then, they're going to stay where they are. So the actions are build a station. To build a station, your railway has to be connected to it, and you have to pay the cost that's just above the station. So in these starting cities, it's quite expensive. It's $500 of our starting $600. I could choose build railroad, and that is 2 pieces of track, cost $400. But for every triangle space that you build on, it's going to cost $100 per triangle. So for the harder the terrain, the more it's going to cost. We can build a telegraph office. That costs nothing. You're going to get some shares. Maybe you'll trigger a deal. All sorts of things. And the trade space is where you can sell things. You can sell either a station or a rail. You'll get the money that's above. You have to sell the leftmost thing and you get the amount of money that's above where you sold from. And then you get to use a train. Our starting train promotes workers. And promoting workers is how you complete the mission. So you have to fulfill the conditions of the mission and then you promote a certain color of worker to secure it and then you get another mission. So in terms of what my negotiator can do with those actions, if I sent him to build a station, he would get me the first station bonus, whether I'm the first there or not. So at the start of the game, that's not very attractive. If I built railroad with him, he could get me 2 shares. The shares can be traded in at any time for $150 each. And they are very important when we do deals, which we'll see as the game goes on. The telegraph office, he would get me the first station bonus, the first office bonus, and the telegraph, which could be a good thing to do because in the 2-player game, this first office is blocked off. And if I did trade with the negotiator, he would let me take one of the deal actions and I would get an extra share as well. Now the deal actions, I can give up a certain number of shares, in this case to get a negotiator for $200 or to get a new train. I think my first action is going to be to build a second telegraph office. Since I started with it, I think I'm going to carry on as I started. So this costs me nothing. I am using my negotiator. So I'm going to go in here because my negotiator lets me take the first office bonus even though I'm not the first there. So first of all, for building the office in there, I would get 1 share. For being the first, thanks to the negotiator, I get 3 more. So I get 4 new shares, which is either a lot of power to do deals or it can be turned into a lot of cash. Now I have the option, do I want to discard a worker to get 4 movement on the performance tracks? And that's a little risky. I only have 5 workers. I think I'm going to do it though. I can discard any worker and it can even be the one I just placed as well. But I'm going to discard one of my starting unspecialized workers and then I get 4 movement on the performance tracks. So I am going to go straight up the telegraph track, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I wanted to move another track in another space in the future, I'm going to have to pay 50 to pass this line here. But now I've got 6 points in the bag because I have 2 telegraph offices and they're worth 3 each. That was my first turn, and now we move over to Marty. So what's he going to do? Whatever he does, he is going to save some money or earn some money from it. And I should say that the bonuses from your workers and from pretty much anything, you can do them before or after. You can use the bonus money that these earn you to pay for the action, or you can wait until after the action in certain cases to get more money. But let's say if we were building a station, the accountant lets you do it for free. You ignore the cost above the station. For building railroad, you get $100 plus 50 for every triangle that you have that are on spaces that you've got rails in. For the telegraph space, he gets you $100 per share, which would be great for me if I can get an accountant. And for the trade action, he gets you $100 for every train that you've got. So I think he would be perfectly placed to build a station. Because even though Marty's main thing wants to be building railroads, he wants to start spreading out as quickly as possible. But for now, he is going to build a station with this accountant, just because he can be first then and get some of these bonuses. So his options, because of where his rails link, he can either build in Washington or Charlotte. And for being there first, he would either get 2 movements up the performance tracks or 2 shares. And he can take a worker as well. He can pick from a negotiator or an accountant or a foreman or an engineer. So I think so he could just go up here and get another accountant and try and keep making more money. But I think for both of Marty's milestones, he wants to have 2 sections of rail on 1 triangle difficulty spaces, and he wants a station in a 1 city. So actually, this is a really good thing for him to do. He needs a station there for this milestone, and he wants to be connected to 2 different 2 cities. So, and for both of those though, he needs to have promoted an engineer. So he is going to come to Charlotte for being the first there. He gets 2 shares. He doesn't have to pay because he used his accountant, and he is going to grab an engineer, which can be used in the future. And that was his turn. So it's back to me. I only have non-specialized workers, and I think I want to get into a city just so I can start getting more workers. I could just build another telegraph office, but I can't discard workers to do actions now because I only have 4 workers. So I think I am going to build a station. Unfortunately, I get no discounts. I could, of course, build rail first, and then I'd be connected to a cheaper city, like $150, $200. Maybe I want to do that, actually, because mine don't really care about me being in 1s. But I think I want an accountant to kind of make things a bit easier on me money-wise. So I am going to build a station. I get no discounts, so that's going to cost me $500. I take my station, place it here. For being first, I can get 2 movements on the performance tracks. I think I am going to... What should I have? I could keep racing up here, but I think I want a bit of variety. I'm going to go 2 spaces up here, and now all of my stations are worth 2 points each. And I can either pick a negotiator or an accountant. I am definitely going to get an accountant. So I need each of them for the milestones I've got as well. And I could use his action to promote. So I could just promote this guy straight away, and then as soon as I've achieved that, he can flip. But I'm not going to do that. So over to Marty. He now has his engineer, and let's take a quick look at what the engineer can do. If he builds a station, he can take the primary reward of that city. So, you know, the primary reward was to get the worker in that city. For $300, he could take that bonus again. When building rails, he gets to build an extra one for free, although he'd still have to pay for the triangles. For telegraph offices, he can, instead of discarding a worker to take the bonus of the tile, he can pay $400 instead. And for the trade action, he gets, you know how we can flip a train, so if it's on its coloured side, you get to do its thing. If it's not on its coloured side, you get to reflip it so it can be activated in future. He lets you do an extra flip. So Marty needs to get going with rails. He is going to use his engineer to build some rails. So it's $400 straight away before he has done anything, and he gets to build 3 rails. He wants to be in 2 places with 1 difficulty triangle, and I think he can achieve both of these. He won't be able to promote the people just yet, but he'll be able to achieve both of these, I think. So 1 can go there. There's no extra cost because that's just plains. There's no difficult terrain there. The second one will be up here, so he'll have to pay $100 extra. And the third one, I think, will be there. So he's making his way over to Houston. He has to pay $200 extra, so this is $600 in total. That's all of his money. But we can see now that he is in 2 spaces with 1 difficulty triangle. He is connected to Miami and to Boston. So that's 2 of the 2 cities he needs. He's achieved both of these. If he can promote 2 engineers, then he will get the points and start getting more and more points from milestones. So that was Marty. For me, I definitely want to do something with this accountant, and I think I am going to build another telegraph office. So there's no restriction to how many workers can be on each action at one time. I'm going to build a telegraph office. Let's see, do I want to be discarding a worker to get a new train or to do 2 train flips? Well, I don't want to do 2 train flips. I can go anywhere though, I don't have to be linked up. It's just an added bonus for these points. I would either like $600 or I would like to be able to place a rail that is ignoring the cost. I think I want to go there. So I'm going to get 2 shares. I can discard a worker. I'll again discard one of my starting workers. And then I can place a rail for no cost anywhere. I'm going to place it there, the most expensive space I could place it. And that is one of my 2 very difficult places I need for my milestone. And then, and I'm doing this after because now I've got more shares, I get $100 for every share. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's $900. So you can see these workers are incredibly powerful if you use them at the right time in the right action. So that's it for me. Over to Marty. He has to do something with a non-specialized worker, but I think he wants to because then he can achieve his milestone. He's going to build a station. Now he's going to build a station all the way up here in Boston, which costs him $150. He's going to pay that by discarding a share and trading in a share for $150, and he'll just pay that. So he can take one of his stations and put it up here. Now the starting bonus means he's going to have to discard some more shares, unfortunately. He doesn't want to, but he is going to. He's going to discard these 2 because he needs $200. So he gets 3 from that. He's going to discard $200 and he can take a worker of his choice. Well, I think, let's see, what would he like? He's not going to have an engineer after this. But I think since he wants to build a lot of rails and he's going to be giving up 2 engineers, I think he wants another engineer. So he takes one there. And the primary reward for Boston, that seems very difficult for me to say. I feel my mouth very strangely as I'm trying to say primary reward. Okay, so he's built the station, he's done all of that good stuff. And the bonus is he gets to promote a worker for one of the milestones. And remember I said earlier, you can use one from your unused pool, but you can use one that you've already used for an action. So this engineer that's already done his job and isn't going to be used again until all of Marty's workers have been used, he is going to get promoted now. Now he's a manager and he's going to get sent off to one of these missions, which are both fulfilled, so it doesn't matter which. So he just goes away. And this can be flipped. That was one of Marty's A's. We each have an A1 and an A2. And Marty now gets to choose a B milestone. So he draws the top 3 of the B milestones and picks the one he'd like the most. Well, let's see. He's in one of the 1 cities already. So for this, he'd have to connect to the other one, which I am in. And it's very expensive to do that. But this one wants him to be in connected to 3 different 3 cities. He may do that because he's spreading out to try and get to these 5s to get these big points. I don't think he cares about this one. This one's a lot of stations, so that can go away. This one, though, be in 3 places with 1 difficulties. He's already in 2, and build 2 stations in 3 cities. That's likely to happen over the course of the game. I think he's going to get this one. He has to give up a foreman and an engineer for this. But yeah, he's gonna pick that one. So that was Marty's turn. He's had to give up a lot of shares, but he is really getting on. He's got 18 points in the bag for that. Okay, for me, I just have my solitary standard worker. And I could build a station again. Let's see, I could build a station. And let's see, it would cost me 200. I've got a lot of money. It would let me activate a train. Not very attractive at the moment because I don't want to activate this train. It would get me a negotiator though. But I want to hold off on that until I've got another train, I think. And I could get a train by going to the Telegraph office, but if I go to the Telegraph office, I can't discard a worker because I only have 4. Let's see, I could build some more track to get connected to a different city so that... Oh, I definitely want to do that. I've just seen something very nice. So I get to build 2 rails. That's going to cost me 400 to begin with. I'll grab these 2. The first one, I'm going to come out of Little Rock and go through this space, and you see this has a little icon. That's a deal icon. At the end of my turn, we're going to have a deal. And then, do I want to carry on from there? So where do I want to build into after this? It's going to be expensive to go into there. That's going to cost me an extra 300 to get to Denver. And what's my goal, really? I want to be connected to 2 different 2 cities and have stations in 2 different 2 cities. Okay, I think my other one is going to be up here, because there's no restriction in this game for if somebody else has built a rail there, that doesn't matter. There's space for everyone's rails, and the only thing you're missing out on is the first player bonus if somebody has got to a station or a telegraph office first, and you can even do that by having the negotiator do it. So I'm now connected to two cities, so that is good. That's part way towards my thing, and if I can get... Oh, actually, for building in there, I wouldn't have gotten the first station bonus. Anyway, I've built my 2 things. It cost me 400 plus an extra 100 because that space has got a triangle in it. But now we trigger a deal. So this is the deal tile we are starting with. So starting with me, because I triggered the deal, I can choose one or both of these things by giving up shares. And I'm absolutely going to do the first part, give up 1 share and pay $200 for a negotiator. And then, do I want to give up... Yes, I want to give up 3 shares. Because the thing I could do is just keep getting the accountant back, keep putting him down there and getting a ridiculous amount of money for accumulating these shares. But I think having a train is going to be very useful. So I give up 3 more shares, and let's just swing over to my choice of trains. So whenever this train gets flipped, I can move 3 spaces on the performance tracks. I can pay 100 to place a rail anywhere, well, anywhere connected to me, but I don't have to pay the extras for the difficulty of the terrain. Gain $600 or gain 3 shares. And I think since I want to be in these difficult rail situations, I'm going to grab this one. I should say as well, if your trains are this side up so they haven't been used, and you know they get flipped, they get flipped back, but if they're this side up at the end of the game, each one is worth 8 points. Now it comes over to Marty, and he can decide, does he want to do one of them? Because I triggered it, I get to pick one or both. Marty can have the pick of one of them. And he's not in a good position to do this. He's only got 2 shares, and he's only got $100. So to do this, he'd have to give up the share to activate it, and then he'd have to give up this share for money to be able to afford the worker. So unfortunately, he is going to respectfully decline the deal. But he's in a good position. He's not worried. And then we reveal the next deal tile. So this one will let you exchange workers or place a rail anywhere for free. And since I placed an unspecialized worker, I can promote one of my workers. I think I'm going to do that. I am very close. I am 1 train flip away to being able to achieve this one. So I'm going to promote one of my negotiators to a manager, and once that is fulfilled, he will score me big points. Okay, Marty, what's one of his engineers going to do? Surely he wants to use an engineer. He's actually going to use one of his unspecialized workers because he doesn't need the negotiator for this. He's going to build a telegraph office because although he doesn't really care about getting involved in this, he is very short on money and it's an easy way to get some shares. So he's the first in this telegraph office. That gives him 4 shares. And he can give up a worker for $600. He's going to give up just one of his starting ones that he still has a lot of. And that's $600 for him. So he's back in the money. He didn't need to use the negotiator because the engineer's ability is to pay $400 and not have to give up a worker. Well, Marty's got a lot of workers and not a lot of money, so didn't really need to do that. He's not going to promote a worker though because I think he wants to get these used. Does he? It would be nice to use the power before they get promoted, But on the other hand, he has achieved this, hasn't he? Yes, he has achieved this, so he could be grabbing another milestone. Yeah, let's do it. I feel it's a shame to do it before they've done an action, but this is now complete, and he can start seeing what he needs to build up to next. So he's finished that, and he can now grab. So both stations in the 1 city, one station in a 3 city. 3 rails on, the full difficulty, and then 2 stations in 3 cities. He doesn't want that. He's nowhere near that. I think this one's looking the most likely. Yeah, he's going to grab that one. This one would be 3 stations in 2 difficulty spaces and 2 stations in 3 cities. None of them particularly brilliant for him, but that's okay. So that was his turn. Over to me, I just have my negotiator, which means, again, I can't do anything that would give up a worker. He's actually okay for me. He is going to build a station for me. And his bonus is I can take the first station bonus, even though I'm not first. So I can pay 100 right now to flip a train. I'm going to pay 100. Flip this train, which lets me place a rail anywhere. I'm going to place it in this 3 difficulty space, and just like that, I have completed this milestone, and that's going to happen at the end of the turn. I haven't paid for the station yet. That's 200. And then, one of my stations needs to go in there, and I get another negotiator. So that worked out really nicely. So I have done my first A milestone. That can go over a little bit. He is done with. And I draw 3, and let's see what we've got. So have 3 rails in blank spaces. I've got 1 at the moment. And then 2 stations in 3 cities. I'm connected to one of the 3 cities, and it's not that hard for me to get connected to another. Be connected to 3 different 3 cities, have a station in 1. I think that's doable. Be connected to 2 different 3 cities and have stations in 2 twos. I think that is the most achievable. And with the worker colours I've got, yeah, I think that one. And over to Marty. What's he going to do? He's got a lot of money now and a lot of shares. Maybe he wants to trigger a deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 shares. 6 shares. So he could do the full thing of the deal. But he needs to keep his, he needs to keep his wagons rolling towards the west. So I think he is going to do some rail building again. He's got $600. So he gets 3 of his rails. Whoop. I should say, by the way, the game ends once one player has used all of their stations and rails up to this point. Then we have one more turn. There's these available if you still need a few more, but then that is it. So he's got 3 rails. Where's he going? He's going there. So that's going to cost him. So that's 4, 5, 600 right now. So no more blank spaces to be into. He wants to be in these 1 difficulties. So there's 1. That's another 100 he needs to pay. So that's 1 share is being given up for 150. So that's another 100 he needs to pay. And then he's got 1 more rail. Is there another single difficulty space to go into? Not where he is. But he could give up 1 more share. I think he's going to do that. And then he's got, with that 50, he's got the 200 he needs to go into that space. And he is almost at a 5 city. Okay, and he triggered a deal. So what does he want to do? He's definitely going to do the first one, pay a share and swap a worker for anything he wants. He's going to swap this one. And I think he's going to get an accountant. There we go. And for 2 shares, he could place a rail anywhere. I don't think he particularly cares about that because he's kind of set up for free rails in these spaces. He does need to be connected to another 3 city though. Yeah, I think he is gonna do it. So that's 2 shares, but then he's got no shares and no money again. Let's do it. Yeah, he's gonna give up 2 shares, and he is going to place a rail here. So he saved $200 by doing that. Well, a little bit more because it would have cost him an action. And he's going to try and get connected to there so he can build a station in there as well. Over to me, I have just the negotiator again. Oh, we need to see what the deal is actually. So for 1 share, you could hire a foreman for $200, and for 4 shares, you could have 4 movement up the performance tracks. I think I'm going to build another telegraph office, and so his bonus is get the first office bonus even if you're not the first. So I want to take one of these two really. And this one I would be connected to my thing and get points, but I think over here it's not as great a bonus being the first there, but when I give up my 1 worker, which I will do, for $600, it's better than getting a train because at least I've got the money right now to use. So $600 and 4 shares are coming my way. Okay then, Marty, he has his accountant and he is very keen on getting some more money. He could use this to build a station in the other 1 space, and then he just needs a station in either of these, and he's done. And these are cheaper. These cost $500. So he could come here right now, use this guy to build a station for free, and then he'd get... Oh, actually, he's going to do that. So I've just seen... Yeah, he's going to build a station in Washington, over where I am. He doesn't get the performance track movement, but he can either get a negotiator or an accountant. He's going to grab another accountant. Even though he doesn't need all these accountants for the missions, actually. This could be a mistake, but it's happening. Okay, that's him done. Over to me. I now have no workers available, so these come back to me. It's tempting to build another telegraph office. Yes, I'm going to build a telegraph office with my accountant, who has been sat on the board for a long, long time. I'm going to go into this space. Hopefully I can link all of this up later so I get all of the bonuses in between. I get 4 shares. I'm going to trigger a deal at the end of the round, but for now I'm going to get $100 for every share I've got. So I've got 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. That's $1,300. So now I triggered a deal on purpose because I am going to definitely give up a share and grab a foreman, was it? For $200. And it's a lot of shares to give up, but I'm going to give up 4 shares to get 4 movement on the tracks. And the movement is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have to pay in total $200 for all those spaces I went through. But now, 9 points for each telegraph station. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. So that should hopefully be some good points. I don't know why this old deal tile's sticking around. And Marty now has the choice. He has 1 share, so does he want to give that up? No, he doesn't. He's got no money. Okay, then. He cannot do a deal. The next one gets revealed. Give up a share to hire an accountant for $200. Give up 3 shares to get 2 train flips. And it's Marty's turn. He is now going to get the... Yes, he's going to get the money that's coming to him, I think. Or does he want to get some shares first? Because he's going to be triggering deals by going into the 5 spaces. I think maybe he wants a telegraph station. Yeah, he's going to build a telegraph station with just his unspecialized worker. And so where's it going to be? He'd go here. He doesn't really care about getting 2 train flips, though. He could go here. He doesn't care about getting 2 promotions. So he's going to have to go somewhere that's already got someone in it. He might as well go here. Yeah, because it's going to get him the most shares. It's got a good amount of shares and not that great for being first. So 3 more shares. Then he can discard a worker. He'll get rid of one of his white ones for $600. And he's back in the money again. Okay, and he's just scored 8 points. So not bad. Over to me. I am loaded. I've got a ton of shares, a ton of money. I've now got a foreman. So what is my plan? I think I want to build a station. I'm just going to use an unspecialized worker, and it's going to be in Denver. So that's $300, but I'm going to get rid of 5 because I'm doing the first bonus as well, which is get a train. I think the train I want is going to give me some movement on the performance tracks. And then I can pick from the... I can't remember the name of the thing. Engineer Engineer or the accountant? I'm going to take an accountant, I think, and maybe try and do the share trick again. Is that it? I'm going to promote this accountant as well to, where do I want to promote him to? So I have I'm connected to 1-3 city, and I'm in none of them. I'm connected to 1-2 city, and I think this is more likely to get done soon, so I'll promote him to there. We zoom back over to Marty. He has his accountant now. Is he going to do his rail trick? I think he's going to do his magic rail trick. Here we go. So he has 600 to play with. He is going to build rail there. So that's 400. So that's going to cost 500 in total. He's now connected to one of the 5 cities. So that's 10 points straight away. And this needs to be ratcheted up now. So he is probably going to try and go to San Francisco and Salt Lake City and get their bonuses of movement on the performance tracks. So now he's built those cities. He now gets $100 just flat, and then $50 for every triangle that he has rails in. So let's have a look. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is another $500 for doing that action. So he's made money on that. Okay, back to me. So I just have specialized workers. I think I am going to keep pushing the Telegraph like mad. I've gone this far. I am going to place here, so that's 4 more shares. I'm going to give up this standard worker, and I get 2 train flips. So the first one is going to be this, to get 3 movement on the tracks. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And I get 100 for all my shares. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That is a lot of money. Whoa, 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 though. We need to backtrack. This is the end of my turn, but we need to backtrack all the way back to the end of Marty's turn because he triggered deals by building those rails. So he gets the choice of both. He's going to do both. No, he isn't, because he hasn't got good trains to flip. He's going to do the top one. Okay, so $200 gets him a new accountant. And he could do the rail trick again right now. And I would have gotten the choice of one of them. So I would probably have gone for the accountant, actually. So I would get 100 less doing that action. You know, my bonus for the shares, because I would have had 1 share less. Hey, I caught a mistake while I was filming. That's good. The new deal tile comes out, and it's pay a share to flip a train, pay 4 shares to get 2 new workers. So that was my turn, wasn't it? I think I only had 1 flip, though. I should have another flip. What will it be? Do I want to build more rails? Yeah, I want to have the opportunity to... So now I can flip this for the action again. Now it's available. So now it's Marty. He has an accountant again. And he does love building rails. He's going to build rails. And let's see. He's only got 500 though. So does he want the money beforehand so he can go in these spaces? He's about to activate a deal as well, I think. So going in there, that's going to trigger a deal. But yeah, I think he wants to hold off on this, because if he triggers a deal, he doesn't want to do this one. He doesn't care. He hasn't got a good train. He wants to do this one, and he's only got 3 shares. So I think he's going to hold off more railroads for now. He needs stations, doesn't he? He needs to be in a 3 station, and he's not in one yet. He wants to be in 2 3 stations. So let's get him moving on this. He wants to build stations, and he could do it for free. So let's just build a station with the accountant, and then he gets all of this good stuff back. Okay, free station. What does he want? 50 to flip a train? No, he doesn't care about that. That's the only 3 he's connected to, though. Maybe he does want to, yeah. Yeah, he does want to, actually. He's going to do that. He is going to pay $50 from... He's got 500. And now he can flip a train. He's going to flip this one and promote 2 people to managers. he's going to promote these two. He's still got 4 workers left. And he can have back a foreman or a negotiator. What would be the best for him? I think he's going to take a foreman. He needs one for his other B mission. And he's thinking he's going to use it on a trade action, which no one has done yet, surprisingly. When thinking about people getting money, I've always sent them to shares, but they could easily just go to the trade. There is an action you can always do as well. You can always buy a new worker for $800. But that's kind of, there's easier ways of getting workers, but if you desperately need one right now, you can get one there. So he's going to take the purple. I think that's everything for his turn. He has completed this. He's in both of the 1 cities, and he's now in a 3 city, and he promoted the people thanks to that train. So he has done that, and he can grab a C. So let's have a look. Be connected to 3 different 4 cities. It's possible, maybe not that possible at this stage. Be in 3 deal spaces. Well, he's going to be in his 3rd just for going up this 5 space. And then be connected to 3 different 4s. And this one, be in both 1 cities, he's done that. Be in a 4 city, be connected to all 3 4 cities. Well, this one I think is the easiest. And he has the workers to do it, in fact. He'll have to try and get connected to all 3 4 cities, but I think out of the 3 that he drew, that's the most likely. So I think we got everything for Marty there. Over to me. I have a lot of workers available, a lot of money. And maybe I want to try and do something now. Rather than keep going for these telegraph things, I need to try and get out there. So what do I need to do for this? I need to get connected to another 2 city. No, I'm connected to 2 2s. Oh, this has been done last round when I promoted this guy. Or whenever I promoted him, this should have been done. Apologies. Okay, so I need a B. So this is the only one we didn't see. Be connected to 3 different 2s, so that would just be 1 more for me, and 2 different 3s. I'm already connected to 1. I'm only 1 rail away from being connected to another. That's a front runner. Be on 3 of these difficult tracks, close to that. Have stations in 2 different 3s, close to that. And let's see worker colour. I'm better at that. Well, actually, I can do that one. Have a station in 1 3 and be connected to 3 3s. Well, being connected to that 3rd 3 isn't very hard at all. Well, I'm only connected to 1, actually. I would have to get connected to another 2. This one might be the best one to do because I could do it by just building rail up here, and then I would be connected to another 2 and another 3. Yeah, let's do that. So it's my turn. So I want to build rails then, presumably. And I'm in very difficult terrain for what little rail I've actually built in this game. I'm kind of leeching off everyone else's rail work and adapting my telegraph lines to their railroads. But maybe I want to get some rail built. So I could get a new train for $300. Or I could get 2 shares, or I could get money for the rail that I've already built. I'm going to use my foreman so I can get some more shares, I think. And then the rails that I'm building are going to be very expensive. So that's going to cost me 800. It's 400 for the action plus 4 triangles. That is 800 US dollars. Okay, now I've triggered a deal. So I think I want to give up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I've got some more worker options. And then I can flip a train. Yeah, I'm going to do that as well. And then I'm going to flip this train, so hopefully I can get some more performance track movement before the game is out. So we're both getting quite close now to that marker. So Marty also gets the choice of one of them. Let's see, he doesn't... Yeah, he's gonna give up 1 share, because flipping this train makes it available again. So it's either scoring him 8 points or it's going to let him promote workers in the future. So he's going to do it. New deal. So you give up a share for 2 performance track movement, 4 shares for 2 workers. That's nice. Over to Marty. What's he doing with this? I think he was going to do a trade action. He's going to sell one of his stations for $900, because that's the place that we're at right now. And then he's going to And the bonus of that purple worker was 3 performance track movement. He is going to go straight up here. 1, 2, 3. He has to get rid of a worker. He'll get rid of his unspecialized worker. I should say that, in case you're worried about, oh, nobody's got any white workers left, how's anyone going to promote? You can always ignore the bonus of the worker you're placing and take the promotion bonus instead. But now he's got 15 points for that, and if he can get up there and keep racing up this track, which he needs to do now, he needs to get to the top of that, I think, before the end of the game. He's had the bonuses, it's over to me. I've got a lot of workers. Okay, what's my big plan then? I built rail, didn't I? So I'm now connected to 2 different 3s, and I am in 1, 2. So I want to get another station built, don't I? I'm going to build a station with this purple worker, and I'm going to build it in Chicago. So I need to pay 500 if I want both of the things. I'm going to do that. So I want a new train. Which train do I want? Let's see, one that got me... Let's keep getting the ones that get me more movement on the performance tracks while they're available. I get an accountant for building in Chicago. And the bonus is I can pay $300, which I will do. Flip one of these. I think I'm going to do the performance. I could upgrade the workers. The game isn't about to end because Marty's still got some stuff left. So I think I've got some time here. I am going to... I think I'm going to flip one of these trains and go up 1, 2, 3 spaces on this performance track. And I need to give up 3 shares for doing that. Marty has no workers, so all of these can come back. And he needs to get railroads built, doesn't he? He hasn't got the shares to do big deal things for these spaces, but I think he's just going to have to accept that. He's going to do the railroad action. And the 2 he's going to build are here and here. So he's connected to all 3 of the things. So that's going to cost him 400, 5, 6, 700. And he's triggered a deal, which is also good because he needs to be in these deal spaces. He is just going to do this first part and use one of his 2 shares to go up 2 on the performance tracks. He's going to go there. So he's very close to being worth 20 points for each one he's connected to. He's connected to all 3 now, so that would be a huge boost for him. For me, do I want either of these? I think I will give up just the 1 share for the 2 movement. And this movement I don't really care about. I'm at the top of this now. I need to give up 2 more shares. Okay then, that was Marty's turn. Over to me. I am not looking very good for cash right now, but I want more telegraph offices, more stations for more points. I'm going to build a telegraph office with the orange accountant. I'm going to get 4 shares for doing it. I can give up a worker. I'm going to give up one of these many negotiators. And then I can promote 2 workers. So what do I need to do? What have I achieved? I've done this one. Yes, I've done this one. I have done this one as well. So which workers do I want to give up? I've got more grey and orange, so I'm going to give up these 2. And this one's worth 2 more points, so I'm going to give up those. Well, I'm going to promote them, not give them up. They're living the high life now. And I can look at some sea missions, although time is running out. And so are my stations. Okay then. So, be connected to 3 cities. That's done by 1 more rail. Be connected to 2 4 cities. It's a little trickier, but not too hard. Have 3 2 stations. That would be a bit of a pain, I think. Have 3 2 stations and 1 4 station. I think this is the easiest out of the ones available. For me. Is that it? Is that what I just did? Yeah, I did telegraph office, I promoted people. Yep, makes sense. Now Marty is absolutely going to build a station. He's going to go to San Diego first. So it's free to go there because he used an orange worker. He is going to pay 100 and get a new train. The new train is going to maybe give him some more free rails. It's his first train. And then he can have a negotiator and an engineer. For me... Oh, I used an orange worker for this last round. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shares. I should have $600. Maybe I want to just do another telegraph office because then that's getting a lot of points and I'm everywhere in the telegraph then. I'm going to go there with another orange worker. So the game doesn't end because I've still got loads of rails, but Marty is kind of more even there and is probably going to trigger the end of the game. So do I want to send someone away so I can get a new train? I've only got 5 workers. So if I send someone away to get a train, I'm not going to be sending people away to do the missions. So I don't think I'd do. It would get me 8 more points to send that person away, whereas sending 2 people away would get me 22 points. So I'm going to hang on for that. I'm going to get 2 shares though, and I have 2, 4, 6, 8 shares. So that's another 800. Marty, he is going to build another station. Now he's going to San Francisco, where he will get 1 movement on the performance track. He will promote a worker. He will promote one of the oranges, I think. And then he gets 3 more movements. 1, 2, 3. Back to me. I kind of need to build a station, don't I? Or maybe with all this money, I could build some rails and maybe try and get in on this. Oh, we should see the deal tile, actually. What's the deal tile? Promote 2 workers and 3 movement. Let's see, if I build a station, it's the last station I build. So I need to build rails, really. So do I want to build 3 for the price of 2? Or get 2 shares while I'm doing it? I think I'll get 2 shares while I'm doing it. So 2 rails. I am going to go... So what do I need? I need to be connected to another 3 city. And 2 4 cities. I think I'm going to come down this way. So I need to pay an extra 300 for these triangles. So that's 700 in total. And I get 2 shares for using the negotiator. Marty, he's going to do the trade action again with purple. He's going to sell a rail for $1,000. He gets 3 movements on the performance tracks. He's got so many stations already. He's going to start moving up that. It's a little late. And then he can flip a train. He's going to flip this one. And for $100, build a rail basically for free. He's now connected to a 4 city. Okay, me, I just have this guy. And what do I want to do? I have 1 station left to build. I'm going to build 3 rails with this guy. Yes, 3 rails. I am going to go there for free, and I'm going to be triggering a deal because of that. There and there, and that's going to cost me 300 extra, so 700 in total. I'm now connected to a 5 city, which makes this interesting to me. So the deal that I've triggered, I'm going to give up 3, so I can move 3 up the performance tracks. 1, 2, 3. Do I want to give up another 1? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can only promote 1 worker anyway. I'm not going to do that. Does Marty want to use either of these? He could only use the top one, and I don't think he cares. So not a very good deal. Not very good timing for that particular deal. Next one is get a train for 200, place somewhere in the Western Union. No good for me, but still good for Marty. Okay, Marty is going to build rails. He's going to use his negotiator, because there's no point getting a bonus one when he hasn't got those rails to put down. So this is going to cost him 400, 600, 800, just so he's connected to another 3. It's going to cost him 800. And he gets 2 shares. He did go through a deal space, so he triggers a deal. So let's see, he's got 3 shares. He could either pay $200 and grab a train, effectively 8 points, or he can just place himself in the Western Union, which would earn him 5 points for no money. I think he's going to, but it cost him all his shares, which is basically $450. So he didn't trigger this deal for any particular reason. Well, if he didn't trigger the deal, if he didn't want to trigger the deal, why didn't he just build here then and save himself $100? Because he is still connected to these cities. I get my workers back. So I'm going to build a station with my purple worker. Oh dear. This could be bad for Marty, but I've just noticed I'm connected to this city now, and this would be the best thing for me to do. So by spending another share, I can go in there, and then I can spend $200. So another share and 100. Then I can promote 2 workers, and I get a purple and an orange. So let's promote these guys. My bonus is, but I used a purple so that I could flip a train and promote 2, but that city lets me promote 2. Maybe I should have used the orange worker instead, and then I wouldn't have had to pay the $500. Okay, so the C is now done, and I get a D. Oh dear, this is flipped around to me kind of achieving everything and Marty not getting anything. I'm not in 3-2s, and I can't be, so there's no point looking at that. I can't be in 2-5s. All of these missions are useful and useless and impossible, but it's the very end of the game, so it doesn't really matter that much. Marty is so annoyed, ridiculously annoyed, because he wanted the upgrade to be able to fulfill the mission easily. I think he can still do it though. So he's going to send this turquoise guy to build. Although he could just ignore Seattle now. Why was he going to Seattle? Yeah, he doesn't particularly need to be in Seattle. He could go to Bismarck, for example. Yeah, he's going to use this turquoise in Salt Lake City. So it's 400 to build a station there. He doesn't get the first bonus. But then he's going to pay 300, so almost all of his money, so he can do the primary reward twice and get 6 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has to give up 3 shares to do that, so he is broke. And he's triggered the end of the game. We play out the round, so everyone's had the same number of turns. Now we each get 1 more round. So can I even do this? I would need another worker and the opportunity to get rid of 2 workers. How do you get a worker when you haven't got any stations left to build? I don't think that's possible. What's the way I could maximize my score now? Okay, so for my final action, I think the best thing I can do is do trade. So earn 1,000 for doing that. And I can use a train, so I'll actually flip this one back. And then I get 3 movement on here. 1, 2, 3. And then I need to get rid of a worker, which is okay, I've got enough. And that is it for me. Marty has free reign of all of his workers. So I will tell you exactly what he's going to do. He is going to build a station for free in El Paso. That earns him a share and a promotion, which he will promote this guy with. He earns another guy for free. He'll just take a purple back, it doesn't really matter which. And then he's completed that mission. It doesn't matter about getting a new mission because I'll just show you the new missions. There you go. That's what some more of the D missions, the final stage of the missions, would have been. But that is the end of the game. I think, has he had all of his bonuses there? He went to the station, he did the thing. Yep, his bonus was getting it for free. So that is the end of the game. So let's jump to final scoring. So we have this lovely score pad here to keep track of everything that's going on. So the first 3 things we are scoring is the performance tracks. So how many 5 cities did we connect to and how many points each was that worth? Well, Marty connected to all 3 and they're worth 25 each for him. So that's a big 75 points. For me, I connected to one of them and it's worth 15 points. Then, for each station, we get 7 points for Marty. So he is in 1, 2, I'll show you while I'm counting, shall I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 7 is 56. For me, I'm in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're worth 9, so 45 there. The Telegraph offices, I get 9 points for each, and I'm in all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9 times 8, 72. Marty is in 2, and he gets a point for each. Missions, milestones rather. So Marty gets 36, 58, 88. I got 36, 50, 80. Trains, Marty has 8 face-ups still, and I have all 4 face-up, which is 32. And then Telegraph offices, well, Marty, it's over for Marty, isn't it? Let's just face it. I've got 18, 26, 36, 44 there. And so the final score is 288 for me, 237 for Marty. And really, it's thanks to Telegraph offices for me in this game. If you would like to know what I think of Railroad Revolution, then there will be a lovely card for you to click somewhere in this area. Thank you very much for watching though, and I will see you for the next game. Bye!